So, do you think Apple sponsored this movie? Because every single electronic device in it was Apple. What's wrong with the good old droids, huh? Droids where it's at. Don't let them overpower Apple. The Fault in Our Stars. Now, I walked into this movie thinking it was gonna be a complete chick flick. I was wrong. Pretty good. And I'm gonna use my droid to help me tell you the cast. We have Shailene Woodley as the terminally ill cancer patient, Hazel Grace. Oh no, what'd I do? I have to find... I hit the back button. I'm just gonna start that over again. We have Shailene Woodley as Hazel Grace. Or, she likes to be called Hazel, but the boy calls her Hazel Grace. And frankly, I would too, because that's a pretty cool name. But she has terminal cancer in her lungs, and she's got the breathing tubes she has to carry around the oxygen tank. Shailene Woodley, Hazel Grace. Then we have Angus Elgort. Al Gore. I don't know. I've never heard of this man before. He was a pretty good looking guy. I'm not gonna lie. And he played Augustus, or Gus, Waters. And he has terminal cancer too, but he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He doesn't care. He's the biggest optimistic person in the world, and he's really likable. And I'm like, I'd be friends with that man. And one thing that I didn't know from the trailers was that he has a prosthetic leg, and not really that it matters. It's not a big part of the story. I just thought it was kind of cool because my grandfather does too. And I'm like, ah. I don't think the actor himself does though, just the character. Animation these days, you can do anything. We have Nat Wolff as Isaac, who has cancer as well. He ends up getting his eye removed and he's blind, and it's pretty funny what he does with his girlfriend, and then after that, they egg her car. We have Laura Dern as Hazel Grace's mother. And who was the author guy? William Dafoe. Oh my god, he was this dick author. I hated him. I thought he was just, they were emailing back and forth, and then I was like, okay, this guy's pretty cool. He seems nice. He's paying for them to go. He's paying for their dinner. He's doing all this. He's inviting them to Amsterdam, where he lives. They show up to his apartment, and he says, dick. He's an alcoholic drunk. Hazel Grace calls him a douche. Douche something. I forget what it was, but it was pretty snappy. Douche pants? Something like that? I don't know. But it was pretty cool. But anyways, the story follows Hazel Grace because she obviously has terminal cancer. And she goes to all these support group meetings, although she doesn't want to because it's not her thing, but her parents make her and the doctors make her. She meets Gus there, and Gus is like, let's go watch a movie. And she's like, oh, I could probably do it like later this week. He's like, no, let's go now. And she's like, okay. Okay, that's weird. You just met this guy and you're gonna get in the car with him. Turns out he's a horrible driver too. Whatever. Just trust the man with your life. I mean, you're only dying in a couple years anyways. Oh, that was bad. I probably shouldn't have said that. And they turn out to become good friends, and he's like, I love you. And she's like, but I'm a grenade, and I want to make the casualties not as many people. Because she doesn't want to hurt people when she dies. And she's trying to make it so, like, less people are there. She doesn't want him to get feelings for her, because she knows that she's going to die and it's not going to be good. Anyway, they start this great friendship, and you know when you get cancer, you have the genies, that they give you one wish or whatever. Turns out she had used her wish going to Disney World when she was 13. I would too, just saying. But Disneyland, because they have Cars Land, and Cars is my fave. But he hasn't used his wish, so he's going to take her to Amsterdam, because that's where her favorite author lives. And he wrote this one book, and it ends in like the middle of a sentence, and she wanted to find out what happens. So they go to Amsterdam after she has like problems with her lungs, and she said she can't go, but she ends up going anyways. And they go to Amsterdam, they see this author dude, and he's a dick. He's drunk, and he's not going to answer any of her questions after going across the world, whatever. But then they end up falling in love, and it's all cute. And then it takes a turn for the worse, but this is not a spoilers review, so I won't tell you. But my girlfriend left the theaters crying, and her two friends did too. I was like, that was intriguing. That was pretty good. And it was a good story overall. There are a couple metaphors that I picked up that has to do with life and stuff. Like, most of the time they explained it right after I picked it up. I'm like, oh, you're explaining it now. But there was one that I picked up. I'm sure there was a lot more. There was one I picked up. And it's like, when they're in Amsterdam, they go to the Anne Frank house. And there's not an elevator there, so Hazel Grace is like, yeah, no, I can climb the stairs, and she's got the oxygen tank, and she can't breathe, or whatever. But Anne Frank in that house was hiding from the Nazis that wanted to, like, kill the family because they were Jews. If you don't know Anne Frank, then you probably should. But she was hiding from what was going to kill her. But Hazel Grace, when she was climbing the stairs and everything, she was fighting what was going to kill her in the place where Anne Frank was hiding from what was killing her. I thought that was a pretty clever little thing they did there. I really liked it. I really liked that. And then the other thing that they explained like 3 times in the movie was the cigarette thing. They said it in the trailers too. He's like, see, I take the thing that kills you, put it right between my mouth, right between my teeth, but I don't give it the power to kill me. I loved that. That was such a good little thing that they did. I was like, oh, touches my heart. It's, oh, optimistic man. Gus, can we be friends? Anyway, there were a couple negative things about this movie, like the Apple thing. Like, Apple, what's the big thing with iPhones? I don't get it. I love my Droid. I love it. It's awesome. Yo. And also, like, it was kinda unrealistic in a sense. It didn't like make me feel like it was in the real world. I know it was based on a girl that lives in Quincy, Massachusetts. I live right around there, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty. I didn't know that until after I saw the movie. So I was like, oh, really? Wow. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I was very intrigued by the movie. I was so into the movie, I noticed this one kid got up and left the theater, and I was watching him leave, and then it got into this, like, a very emotional scene or whatever, and the next thing I know, he's already in his seat. I'm like, he was sitting right in front of me, and I didn't notice him come back. That's how intrigued I was by this movie. And I really liked, I know they've been doing it a lot lately in the theaters, but when you're texting, they'll show the words on the screen, like they did it in Non-Stop. They did it in something else, I forget, but I think they were doing it in Chef with Jon Favreau. I never actually saw that, but I saw it in the trailer. But the font, see, I'm in like graphic design classes and stuff. The font really fit the story, I think. So that was a really cool little touch they did. So yeah, I mean, overall, this movie was really good. I mean, I didn't leave the theater crying or whatever. I was emotionally attached, but I wasn't so attached. I was like, no, that wasn't me. My girlfriend was, but she's a girl. She cries. Yeah, I mean, the movie was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a strong 7.5. That's stupid dog. I'm in the middle of my review. It's hot in my room and I can't not leave the window open. So I'm gonna go now, and hopefully my partner and I will have another video up for How to Train Your Dragon 2. I think we might be filming that Wednesday, so say another couple days before it's up. Alright? Remember, you should follow us on Twitter at FilmGeekz with a Z. You should subscribe to us. You should like. You should comment. And have a great day, Film Geeks.